We are live here on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an Instant Classic. And through the month of February, we are continuing our WWE No Way Out reviews. And this No Way Out that we'll be reviewing is the 2002 No Way Out, which I thought the show was pretty good. We kicked off with the NWO pretty much making their WWE debut. I mean, they've been in WWE before, but, they weren't as a group, before they went to WCW. So, pretty much Vince McMahon, brought him in, he said as a lethal dose of poison in the WWF. Ric Flair pretty much was the reason why they got brought into the company, got brought back, because Ric Flair was the co-owner of Raw at this time. And I thought I kind of liked this. This was a pretty cool segment here. They pretty much were acting like baby faces, pretty much apologizing to the crowd, saying that sorry that they destroyed pretty much WCW. And then I think Kevin Nash gets on the mic first, it was Kevin Nash who got on the mic first. Pretty much saying they're sorry they didn't mean to destroy WCW. And then Scott Hall or Razor Ramon, he hops on the mic and says, he goes like, "Hey yo," and the crowd just pops for that. And then Hogan talks and he says, "I've been here before. I was here 10 years ago." And pretty much, he tries to act like a face also, and they just try to act like so over emotional kind of in this segment here, which I thought this was cool. And also, one thing that they said, we're just a bunch of marks, which I don't think they really needed to say that they're a bunch of marks. Like, I didn't really think they needed to say that. But we also will get some appearances with them later on the night. I think I'm going to go ahead and talk about those right now. But let's go with DJ. What did you think about this beginning opener here?
It was kind of weird because I think as wrestling fans we have gotten used to the normal opening promo, but on a pay-per-view, even now you don't really see it that much. Even in WWE, they usually start with some sort of match. So it was kind of weird going back and watching this and being like, oh, there were some times when they did this too, but this was kind of a big moment though with the NWO coming into the WWE, and it was definitely a big moment. I was excited because I remember the NWO stuff, especially when they were in WWE. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Not in those times, but looking back on it, it was fun to watch. Not in those times because I was a big Stone Cold / The Rock fan, and they decided to target him a lot, both of them a lot. But this was kind of interesting to me.
Casey,
you were like 2.
I wasn't actually. I was 5, so actually I was 6. I was 6.
I was 3.
No, wait, this is 2002. I was 7. I was 7.
Actually I was 4 for life. See what I did there for life?
For a second I was like, wait, did I press Raw? I was like, wait. And then I remembered, no wait, they did open No Way Out. I forgot for a minute there. But I don't know what you guys are talking about. I thought they were, they turned over a new leaf. They were turning face here. I believed it. I was, yeah. You can't look in those guys' eyes and not see that they're good guys. They're good. They bought with their own money Stone Cold Steve Austin a 6-pack. Granted, it was Budweiser, and you can get like a 6-pack for like $4. But they spent that $4 on him. Those are some good guys. Good guys.
Is all you had to say there?
They're good guys.
They're good guys. They're not bad guys like Razor Ramon.
I mean, he was the bad guy, but like I said, face turn. He's a good guy. Good guy.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But we're going to talk about that first backstage segment before I forget about it. So, they went back to Stone Cold Steve Austin's locker room, and they brought him a six-pack of beer, like Casey said. And, you pretty much can get a six-pack of beer for, $4. So, and pretty much Stone Cold Steve Austin, he just throws the beer behind him. He didn't even appreciate the beer that that the NWO gave him. And, he was just staring a hole right through the NWO. I mean, he was just staring at him, and he would do that, classic what to them. He goes like, what? I thought that was really funny, and I just really enjoyed this confrontation between them. And they would, get involved more later on in the night. But DJ, what's your thoughts on this here?
Real quick, going back to the promo. Real quick, going back to the promo. I thought it was funny that the crowd did the what chants for everybody but the one person they respected in the group, which was Hulk Hogan. I just thought that was funny because they just stopped. They stopped completely when he talked. They were like, no. But yeah, Steve Austin, he was grateful. He was, he took it and he was like, okay, I'll raise your beer and I will give you smash it on the ground. I will give you no beer. And it might just come back to haunt him, and that's kind of the unfortunate thing, and you don't disrespect the NWO. From what I've heard, from what my inside sources are telling me, they usually tell me, you don't disrespect the NWO. Just can't.
Somewhere during that segment, James Storm was crying. He shed a tear for that six-pack. James Storm would not have thrown that six-pack away. He would have taken it. He would have taken it from anybody, It was sad. That's what I thought about when he just tossed it over his shoulder. Okay, what about James Storm? What about James?
That's why James Storm left the WWE. That's what it is.
I know. He watched this pay-per-view and he was like, I can't be in a company that condones that. Can't.
Very true there. Hold up. And then the next segment we had, which, the NWO and The Rock, which I thought this one was even funnier. So Hogan, he goes like, hey, Rock, can I get a picture with you for my son? He goes like, The Rock goes like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah, you can get a picture for your son. And so they get a picture, and then the NWO walks away, and it was kind of for me hard to tell what the NWO was saying when they walked away. It was I think it was like, oh, this picture isn't worth it. And then The Rock, I think he pretty much run down the whole entire NWO, and I think he started with Kevin Nash and goes like, Diesel. This, his horn. I did that bad there. I just did that really bad. And then he runs down Razor Ramon. He goes like, "Hey Chico," pretty much, or Chica, whatever he says. And then he pretty much runs down Hulk Hogan. Says, "Eat your vitamins and say prayers." And he's going to stick this on this something about his candy ass, and I know I've just botched that whole thing right there, but yeah, I thought this was funny, and I just thought this was funny. And DJ, what's your thoughts about this?
Juggernaut, you take that camera, you shine it up real nice. But I like this segment. Anytime I hear an old school rock segment, rolling it up in a ball, you turn it sideways, and every time I hear it, I get a little excited. I get a little excited. But yeah, he just kind of picked on each member of the NWO, which I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, but you can't come into the Rock's locker room. I almost said the Rock's locker room. You can't come into the Rock's locker room and try to take pictures with him and then disrespect The Rock. You don't disrespect The Rock. I mean, he is The Rock, okay? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't understand how you can come in his locker room like that, try to take a selfie, which weren't even invented by then, try to take a selfie with The Rock, and you don't even know how to use a selfie stick. Come on, Hulk. Come on, man.
You guys just don't understand. This was all a misunderstanding. They are some good guys. What they had said when they left was, the picture wasn't worth it because the focus was off, and the aperture was off and all that stuff, and the picture didn't come out good. But that wasn't The Rock's fault. That wasn't Hulk's fault. The camera. It wasn't a good camera. He had bought a camera, but it was still being delivered, so he didn't have it that day. So he had to use the only camera he had. And that's really what it was. And The Rock he's mean. He is a mean man. If anybody is the bad guy in this situation, it's The Rock. They just wanted a picture. That's all. That is all. I mean, if he's going to do that to everybody who ever wants a picture with him, nobody's going to want a picture with him. I'm just saying.
Okay. And then the next matchup, the first matchup we got kicked off with was the tag team turmoil match, which it was a number one contenders match. We had Sky Duhati and Albert versus Christian and Lance Storm versus the Hardy Boys with Lita versus the Dudley Boys with Stacy Keibler versus Billy and Chuck versus the APA, which, I thought this match was, pretty good. It got about, 16 minutes of action. Every team, pretty much held their own during this match. And, I just, everybody did their part, pretty much what they were supposed to do in this match. And pretty much, not one match, on the show, got, a whole, lot of time on this show, in my opinion, because of this tag team turmoil match. But the winners of the match were the APA, which I was going, what? I know, was it the APA? Yeah, it was the APA who won this match. I was getting a little confused there. Because, I was just getting a little confused there. But, I go, why did they really need a win here? Because, I think they were the tag team champions going into Mania because I think they did become tag team champions going into Mania. So I think it's kind of a little weird there. But the tag team division was so great at this time. I mean, back in the Attitude Era and back in the early 2000s, it was just so great at this time, and which I didn't really understand why the APA really needed the winner. I thought maybe they could have had the Hardy Boys win or the Dudley Boys or somebody else could have won this match. But, it was an alright match here, and, it was fun for what it was. So, DJ.
Alright. So, my question is, why don't we see these matches anymore? I'm just curious because I feel like this is a great way to kind of build up the tag team division in any time, because it's not like WWE doesn't have tag teams that they could do a match like this with, and do a number one contenders thing or something like that with it, or even just something to kind of just show off the tag teams, especially those who don't really get used a lot, like the Ascension and I guess the prime time players, which won't really be getting used much anyway, here in the next little bit, but I did like this match though. I just thought it was a great way to kind of get multiple teams in the mix without making it like a four-way or a five-way where everybody's just chilling on the apron. Let me wait till my turn till I can get a tag in. Yeah, and I just thought it was pretty cool. It was because we have these type of matches just with singles, but we don't necessarily have them with tag teams anymore. I kind of hope they do something with that. Also, Justin, where was this Tori Wilson you spoke of in this message you sent me? Because I saw Stacy Keibler and Lita.
No, I was watching something else. I was watching this other thing on the network. It was with Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie. And when
Ah,
they had the hotel
ah,
segment, oh
ah,
boy.
ah.
That's where I got Tori Wilson. Oh boy, she's
Oh,
oh
okay.
man,
Yeah, that
Tori
was it though.
Wilson.
I like this match. I just kind of wish they would do something more with this now. I feel like this could be a thing they could use now, especially with all the tag teams they have in general. That they just don't know how to throw them in there. Hey, tag team turmoil! Look at that! Look how easy that was. Thank you. Yeah, I mean you're welcome, WWE.
You know him as Matt Bloom. You remember him as Albert. You also remember him as Sweet Tea. But do you remember the Hip Hop Hippo?
Jeez.
That made me so happy. The Hip Hop Hippo. I completely forgot that he had teamed with Scotty Duhati for a while there and was known as the Hip Hop Hippo.
I never
That,
knew that.
if nothing else, that makes this match the Hip Hop Hippo. Um, but yeah, I like this match. I feel like tag team turmoil match, this tag team turmoil match, and then the 3 stages of hell match in the last No Way Out were kind of they're like legendary matches that you only really remember from 1 or 2 pay-per-views, and then the SmackDown versus Raw video games. I remember playing, 3 stages of hell and SmackDown versus Raw. I forgot which year it was in. And then I think they had the tag team turmoil in a couple different games. But these are the matches that I wish they would have on more. But like you said, to kind of build up the tag team division, give more teams a chance to, be in matches that aren't just, fatal 4-way tag team matches, that aren't the typical matches we see all the time. This would be a really cool match to see again. It's fun. It's kind of a mystery as to who's going to come out next. And it doesn't get really crazy. It doesn't get like all the teams in at the same time because one team gets eliminated and then the next team comes in. So there's like order to it. It doesn't get chaotic. I just really like this match, and I was upset that they eliminated the Hardys, but I like that the APA won. This was kind of when they were kind of getting big again. They kind of, I felt like they fell off for a little while there after the end of the Ministry of Darkness, and then they started the Acolytes Protection Agency thing. But I like that they won. Also, we got to see some other teams that we didn't really necessarily get to see very often, or that we would have liked to see more. Like Billy and Chuck. I miss Billy and Chuck. They had a commitment ceremony one time. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful ceremony, and I teared up. I did.
Wait, wait. We're not gay.
It was amazing. But yeah, definitely a good match. Good opening match for this show.
And then the next match was Rob Van Dam versus Goldust. And this was actually a pretty good match. I mean, something I don't really understand. Like, Goldust doesn't really get the props for, being a very good worker. I mean, he does, but not from a whole lot of people, which I think he is a pretty good worker. Pretty much Goldust, he returned at the Royal Rumble, which I thought it was only a short time stint, but, until I figure out, that he's at this match in against Rob Van Dam, so he did have a full-time stint with him. And, pretty much he was having a secret admirer at the time, and it was Rob Van Dam, I think. And I just thought this referee was a little weird, and I don't remember who Goldust really faced at WrestleMania, in my opinion, but Like, but the winner of the match was Rob Van Dam. Like I said, a pretty good match. You would think this match wouldn't be very good for like the different styles they had, but this match was actually pretty decent. And DJ, what are your thoughts on this?
I definitely like this match. It was nice to see good old fashioned Goldust um, doing his thing, and it was weird because RVD just in this portion of the year, because we've been watching these, No Way Out year by year, it just seemed like he like randomly just appeared. I can't remember exactly when he debuted, but it felt I was surprised when I saw him though, on the show. But yeah, I felt like this is a good match, especially for the contrast of styles. Obviously, we're not gonna see Goldust do a 5-star frog splash. Well, maybe one, maybe one 5-star frog splash at least, from Goldust. But you know, I feel like this match was pretty good. I liked it. I this was a match that I would watch again for good old Goldust. Maybe doing a 450 splash next time. I don't know. Whatever Goldust wants to do. Black Rain or Dustin Rhodes or whatever we call him, at this time.
He be doing a gold star frog splash. Okay, the man gold dust. He don't do no 5-star. He do gold star or platinum. Maybe. But I I just kind of thought this match was okay. I mean, it was back in kind of RVD's prime, at least in WWE's prime. Um, so it was good in that respect. It wasn't. I felt like there was too much of a contrast in styles, and on top of that, I didn't really remember this feud too much, so I couldn't really go. I didn't have much to go on with this, because I just didn't really remember their feud that much. But like I said, it was an okay match. I would have booked something different, but
Okay, and then the next match was the WWF Tag Team Titles match. It was Taz and Spike Dudley versus Booker T and Test, which this match was kind of two random teams. Like, I don't really know why Taz and Spike Dudley were teaming up, and I don't really know why Booker T and Test were teaming up. I mean, I think Taz and Spike Dudley won the titles like on a random Raw or something. I don't really remember. And like I said, I was just confused why Booker T and Test were teaming up, because at Mania, we would get Booker T and I think Edge at Mania. Yeah, it was Edge, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was. But the winners of the match were Taz and Spike Dudley. They win the match when Taz makes Taz tap out to the Taz mission. So, I mean, this match wasn't really anything special, and something about tag teams. This isn't anything about this pay-per-view, but I think that Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore are going to be getting called up to the main roster soon, because they've been doing matches on dark shows on Raws and SmackDown. So looks like they could be getting the main roster push. But that's enough about that. But DJ, what's your thoughts on this?
This match was just interesting to me, because I remember these teams. I more so remember Booker T and Test more than I remember Taz and Spike Dudley, which is weird considering they were the champs. But I don't know. It was just, it showed off that lethal Taz mission. That lethal Taz mission. Spike Dudley was getting beat down throughout this match, and then Taz comes in, just locks it in. It's done. It's over. It's over. But
He's fat.
I was a fan. I was a fan of this match. I like the team of Booker T and Test. For some reason, I do remember Test, just going ham over there while Booker T was doing the spinneroonie, which I thought was pretty funny. I miss Test a lot. Every time I see Colin Cassidy, I see a little bit of Test in him. But good match.
these teams make perfect sense. Okay, listen, you got a test. What do you use to prepare for that test? Your book. You got a test and a book, and then Taz and Spike are Team ECW basically.
I see what you
I,
did
I
there.
know
I
what it
see
is.
what you did.
I know what it is. So Spike, I mean, no, Taz, he spins around because it's Tasmanian Devil. And then to
Yeah,
stop him, to control him, you use the Spike. I got you.
yeah,
I
that's
got
what
you.
he did.
I got you on all those now.
That's
I
what he did.
understand.
That's
I
what
see
he
you,
did.
fam.
Yeah. But I had forgot that this was kind of a time in WWE where they did have these kind of sort of random teams that you wouldn't necessarily think of. Like, I do remember Booker T and Test. I didn't necessarily remember Taz and Spike, though I like it. I like that they had them teaming up together as the tag team champions. And then when you go back, I'm sure a lot of people don't necessarily remember Christian and Lance Storm, but I really like them too together as a team. But yeah, it was just weird that they kind of would put random people in a team together, and most of the time it worked back then. So I don't know why they don't do it now. WWE, make some more tag teams. You have the guys. Well, I mean, you don't now because everyone's injured or you're firing them. But I mean, you could hire us. We could. I mean, we can make a triple threat tag team except for Justin, which would make it just a tag team with me and DJ, and Justin will be our manager that stays in the back and shuts up. I feel like that would be a good thing that you would have for your business. But yeah, I like this match. I like that Taz and Spike retained. I kind of want to go back and watch more of their matches to see if I can watch more Taz and Spike, the tag team champions.
And then the next match was an intercontinental title match. It was a brass knuckles on a pole match. William Regal was defending the title against Edge, which this match was pretty good for what it was. I'm not a really big fan of anything like on a pole match, really. I mean, but this made sense because at the Royal Rumble, Regal used brass knuckles to beat Edge. And so this kind of makes sense. So I'm happy that they're doing this right here. Using brass knuckles here. And I think their Royal Rumble match was kind of better in my opinion. Like, I just think their Royal Rumble match was just a lot better. But the winner of the match was William Regal. He retains, which I'm happy about that because, I was a really big fan of William Regal's run as Intercontinental Champion at this time. And yeah, I thought this match was pretty good, and I don't really know much else about this. Edge, of course, he would go on to face Booker T at Mania, and I think their rivalry was something like over shampoo or something stupid. Like, I don't remember what that whole rivalry was about, but I think it was dumb, which I think they should have put the, Intercontinental Champion on, Edge, in my opinion, because, with Edge and, Booker T, that would have made sense, but yeah, like I said, it was an alright match for what it was, and it made sense. So, DJ.
I for some reason I remember a whole lot of this match from this pay-per-view. This was kind of the time where where I remember more because I was getting older. I remember more of what was going on, even though I didn't get to watch all the pay-per-views because I was still really young. So I was there. I was like, go to bed, and I was like, I don't wanna, So I do remember this match though. For some reason, I remember this match so vividly because I remember William Regal winning this match with those freaking brass knuckles from his trunks. I don't I don't know why I remember that, but for some reason I do remember that. Shout out to Regal using the Tiger Bomb though. I was like, yeah, Tiger Bomb for the win. Well, it wasn't for the win, but I was like, whatever. I like that he reused that move multiple times in this match, because it's my favorite move ever. And yeah, for some reason I don't know why I remember this match so much, but I do. I think I didn't like Regal a lot because of his brass knucks and whatnot, but you know, um, he was sneaky. He was a sneaky little bugger, I tell you.
Sneaky little bugger. Why don't you call him a sneaky little cat? It sounds a lot better, but
I'm gonna ignore what you just said, but I don't understand why this had to be a brass knuckles on a pole match. I mean, he listen. William Regal never used brass knuckles. It was just the power of the punch. That's what it was. It was he had a really good punch and it knocked people out. That kind of like the Big Show.
I got
That's
a question. Are you blind because he did use a mat the Rumble?
no, he didn't. What are you talking about?
He
But
did. He
but
did. You must be blind.
a little known fact, that he actually taught Big Show the punch. He taught him it. Because he's so good at it. When you grow up in the mean streets of Blackpool, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, this was just a random match. I did like it because this was kind of more towards the beginning of Edge's kind of journey as a singles competitor. Kind of Edge and Christian separating and kind of doing their own thing. Christian kind of still stayed in the tag team picture for a while there, but this was kind of when they started, seeing more in Edge, I feel like, and kind of giving him more of a push, to the Intercontinental title, and then, eventually he did, he made it to the WWE title, the World Heavyweight title. But I mean, I like this match. But there was no need for like I said, the brass knuckles. He's just William Regal is just that much of a badass that yeah, he doesn't need brass knuckles. He has brass knuckles.
And then the next match, it was The Rock versus Undertaker, which this was a pretty good match until we had some interferences in this match between Ric Flair will get involved and Vince McMahon will get involved. Which I don't think this rivalry was really between The Rock and Undertaker. I think it was pretty much really between Ric Flair and Vince McMahon, in my opinion. And something like, is this kind of like a dream match that we like really usually talk about like a lot of times? Um, with The Rock and Undertaker, like a WrestleMania match. Would that be pretty awesome if that would have happened at WrestleMania? But I mean, seriously, like that'd be a really awesome match to see. But and I don't really think Undertaker and The Rock really had any like big type of like feud back in the Attitude Era. Like I know they've been in some matches back in the Attitude Era, but I don't really think they've been in any feuds. But like I said, this was a pretty good match, and like I said, Vince McMahon and Ric Flair will get involved, and pretty much set up for their feud that they've been having, and also say if we did get this at Mania, maybe we wouldn't have got then we wouldn't have got The Rock and Hogan at Mania. Maybe we could have got Stone Cold and Hogan at Mania. I mean, it's something like things could have been different, but if you just would have switched up that match, I mean, but yeah, like I said, alright match, and like this maybe could have been like hyped up, like it could have been like a little better for like these two big names, but it was fun. So, but DJ.
Yes, I like this match. I do. I remember the pipe usage too in this match. I remember a lot of like especially the last the ending part of this pay-per-view. But I don't know. For some reason, I remember liking this feud. I liked Undertaker's Big Evil motorcycle gimmick. a lot. It was a nice change from the typical Undertaker we were seeing. But yeah, when he brought the pipe out and Flair would end up using it to give the win to The Rock, I just thought it was it was very intriguing because I know obviously Flair and Vince were kind of feuding more so, like Justin said, they were kind of more into the feud than The Rock and Undertaker were. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good match. It was okay.
Casey.
Uh, I like this match. I love the intensity in it. You know, you definitely felt, the built up, feud. But matches and feuds like this always kind of made me question why uh, neither The Rock or Austin ever faced Undertaker at WrestleMania. That's one thing that I never understood. Because I mean, Triple H faced him. Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Kane multiple times, Triple H multiple times. There was even guys that you don't necessarily remember, like Nathan Jones and A Train faced him. Mark Henry had a match with him at Mania. I, I just never understood why they never had Austin or The Rock face him at Mania. But this was definitely a good match. I didn't really remember this feud too much because like Justin said, I don't really remember The Rock ever having a feud with Taker, which is kind of weird because Rock and Taker both had feuds with Triple H. They both had feuds with Stone Cold Steve Austin. They both had feuds with Vince McMahon. I don't understand why they never really had feuds with each other, which was weird because they were two of the big guys in WWE at the time. You had Undertaker, Rock, Austin, Triple H, Mankind, and I just never understood why they never really had a big feud. Obviously this was a feud, but it was one that I don't think a lot of people really remember that much. And like Justin said, it was more based around Vince McMahon and Ric Flair at the time. But it was a good match though.
Okay. And then the next match was the number one contenders for the WWE Championship. We had Triple H versus Kurt Angle, which Triple H, he won the 2002 Royal Rumble, and he last eliminated Kurt Angle, and then which Kurt Angle he would get another title shot at No Way Out, and Stephanie McMahon was the referee, special guest referee. And Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, they kind of had a fallout, because she lied about being pregnant, and Triple H wanted to have a divorce, and all this kind of crap happened, and so that's why this pretty much match got set up at No Way Out, and I think the real feud between this was Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, like going back to the same with the Undertaker and Rock match. It wasn't really between them. It was between Ric Flair and McMahon, and this is between pretty much Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. But like I said, these guys have really good chemistry in the ring together. These guys put on really good matches together. It was really fun in the ring, and but the one thing about the match was Kurt Angle, which I thought was kind of shocking. I think the fans in that arena thought it was shocking. Pretty much, they're sitting on their hands going, "Wait, Kurt Angle just won the match?" I don't think people were really expecting him to win. And and also Triple H, he would still become number one contender, which I don't really remember how he would become number one contender, but I know he would, because he was in that the championship match at WrestleMania. But I just thought that was interesting, and like it was good how they played out with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, how they moved that storyline. So yeah, that was good with there. But DJ.
All right. I I definitely I definitely like this match. Going back and watching old Kurt Angle stuff, it's cool to kind of compare and contrast from today. But every time I see Kurt Angle in WWE, I'm just, especially since we're watching this year by year, I'm just expecting him to appear with no hair at one point. I'm just expecting like he's gonna come out with hair one time and then no hair at some other time. But yeah, I I was I was interested in this match because like I said, I remember a lot of these matches from 2002 for some reason, and Angle did not care about Tim White or Stephanie or anyone in stripes in this match at all. Shout out to Stephanie for that horrible sell when she fell out of the ring and kind of just collapsed. She landed on her feet and just like died, which I thought was quite interesting. And I thought it was interesting too because Stephanie, like when Kurt Angle at the end was going for that chair shot, she was just like, get him. She didn't even like care or like shield her eyes or act like she didn't see it. She was just like, yeah, So I was like, all right then. But yeah, Angle would end up winning this match, and it was, I don't know, it was kind of, this wasn't a weird feud. This is like kind of one of those feuds that you think you remember from memory, and then like you remember that this is like one of the moments they show on like Too Hot for TV or something, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Hey DJ, go check your messages. Uh, anyway, that was a little side thing. But I this match was weird for me because I feel like off and on we've had little, either feuds between, Triple H and Kurt Angle, or, Triple H and Stephanie with Kurt Angle. I feel like Kurt Angle kind of gets stuck in with Triple H and Stephanie a lot. I know later on, when they had the WCW, when WCW came in, they had a lot of work with Triple H and Kurt Angle and Stephanie. It just feels like they used them together a lot, which isn't a bad thing. You always had good chemistry between them in the ring, and then the backstage segments were always kind of funny because Triple H is so intense and kind of the game, and Kurt Angle's kind of that goofy drink your milk and three eyes and hey Steph, can I help? So it worked. I just didn't remember this match in particular. I remember when Stephanie and Triple H had their kind of fallout when Stephanie, like you said, lied about being pregnant and things like that. But I would have to go back and watch this feud more closely to really remember exactly why. I was just kind of confused a little bit. But it was a good match though.
And then the main event, it was an undisputed title match. We had Chris Jericho defending the undisputed championship against Stone Cold Steve Austin, which Chris Jericho beat Stone Cold Steve Austin at Vengeance 2001 to pretty much become the undisputed champion. And this match was very good here, like pretty much like all of these matches on the show were pretty good. And Jericho, he was like pretty much a definition of what you call chicken shit heel at this time was, because he didn't win his matches cleanly. Like I'm pretty sure like Rumble, don't remember who we faced at the Rumble. I'm like, my mind's going blank right now who we faced at the Rumble. But I know he cheated, like he put his feet up on the ropes and like he rolled, held the tights. I don't remember who we faced though. Like my mind's going blank. Was it The Rock and the Rumble? I think it was, or maybe it was Stone Cold. I don't remember who it was at this time, but I didn't really like how that. I think they should have kind of like booked him better, like at this time, because like I said, he didn't win his matches cleanly, but like I said, this was a pretty good match, but until the NWO came out and interfered, which the setup for Stone Cold, and Scott Hall and Hogan and The Rock, which the Hogan and Rock match, match was just immortal. That match was just amazing. Which I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to wait to get into our WrestleMania reviews next month. But DJ, what are your thoughts on this match here?
I I definitely I like this match. Looking back on it, I loved heel undisputed champion Chris Jericho. I hated that he won that he was the first ever undisputed champion and how he gloated about it. Because I remember back in these times, I was really cheering for Stone Cold, obviously, because I was a big fan of Stone Cold back then. And I was just, he would just gloat about it, and then even for years to come, he would gloat about it, and I would still be upset about it. But I like this match. It felt like this match was everywhere. Like it felt like they fought in multiple places in this match, and it kind of felt like even though it was a normal match, that like Earl Hebner kind of just let everything go, which I thought was kind of cool. I kind of wish they would do that a little bit more now. They don't. I guess because they ain't got the greatest referee of all time anymore, so I understand, but I kind of wish they would kind of let them fight a little bit more. Especially like for big matches like this, because obviously you wouldn't throw this match out, but it seems like today they would be really quick to throw this match out.
Yeah. I like this match. Like DJ said, even to this day, Chris Jericho will remind you that he was the first ever undisputed champion. But I still feel like this was still kind of watching this back so many years later. He was still so young at the time, and it felt a little bit weird seeing him in a big title match against Austin. I don't know why, but it felt weird for me watching it again. But it was a good match. I like that they kind of, let them go for the most part. That's why we do need Earl Hebner back, because Earl don't care. He will let you do what you want to do as long as you get that 1, 2, 3. He doesn't care. You can kill yourself. He doesn't care. He was involved in the screw job, so he's infamous. He's infamous. But yeah, I definitely like this match. I hated Chris Jericho's title run. Hated it so much. Hated it. And not just for the run, for the what has it been, like 12 years since this pay-per-view, 13, 14, whatever, because he still talks about it, and just the fact that he will go down in history as the first ever undisputed champion. It's not. It should have been Triple H. I'm just, or X-Pac.
So yeah, that was our WWE No Way Out 2002 review, which I thought the show was pretty good, like I said, and like if like I had to pick a match like for you guys to go back and watch. My match I would pick would be the number one contenders match, which would be Triple H and Kurt Angle, which Stephanie as a special guest ref. That would probably be my match. But DJ, what would be your match?
Let's see here. I would have to go with the tag team turmoil match, just because you don't see it a lot anymore. I think it would, it kind of open your eyes a little bit to the tag team wrestling of old. The wrestling. That's when you know it's serious, when it becomes wrestling.
Casey.
I'm gonna go with the Divas match. Oh wait, there wasn't a Divas match. I don't know. This was one of those pay-per-views that I just kind of But I guess if I have to pick one for you to watch, if you're gonna make me pick one, I'm gonna go Undertaker Rock. Yeah.
Undertaker Rock. That's good, but so yeah. Probably tomorrow on Domingo, which is Sunday in Spanish. I don't know why I'm talking in Spanish right now. I just feel like it. But tomorrow on Domingo, we'll be doing our St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999 review. Because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Because, yeah, tomorrow is February 14th, if you guys don't know that. Well, now you do know that. And one of these days we'll be doing our No Way Out 2003 review, probably maybe on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know yet. We'll guess we'll see when we do that. And also, we got Fastlane predictions coming up. That's probably going to be on Monday after Raw, so stay tuned for that. And we're going to let Casey end it how he always ends it. So let's get his ending.
I forgot that Fastlane is coming up. The most useless pay-per-view ever in WWE history.
Because you hate racing?
Yeah. Just change it to No Way Out or something, please. Change it to something. But until they do that, and until we come back to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, we will see you on DJ Say It. Come on, DJ. DJ, say it. Come on. Okay. Even Jason Jordan says it. Say it. On the flippity. I'm going to get a towel, and it's going to say on the flippity dippity.
Dippity.
Yeah. Yeah. On the flippity dippity. Oh, yeah.